Welcome to the Mindset Coach podcast, brought to you by the Mindset Coach Academy. I'm Lara Young, your host and Master Certified Coach. Whether you're a seasoned coach or just starting your coaching career, this podcast is your go-to resource for all things mindset, coaching, and personal development. Each week, we bring you expert insights, practical strategies, and inspirational stories to help you become the best coach you can be. Our guests range from leading industry professionals to successful mindset coaches who share their secrets for creating lasting change. Plus, I'll be answering your burning questions and sharing tips from our ICF and multi-accredited Mindset Coach certification program. So, if you're ready to elevate your coaching game, stay tuned and let's dive into today's episode. We often hear how important it is to hold space when we're coaching, but what does holding space actually mean and how do you do it? Holding space in coaching is really about creating that supportive environment where clients feel safe to explore their thoughts, their emotions, and their experiences. It involves you as the coach being fully present and attentive, allowing clients to express themselves without judgment or interruption or our own unconscious biases. Here's how to effectively hold space for your client. The number one skill, and we talk about this often, is active listening. Now, active listening means that you are listening deeply to what your clients are saying and also to what they're not saying. You'll have heard me refer to this as minding the gap. And that gap in between what is being said and what's not being said is a really interesting place for us to explore as coaches. By paying attention to our clients' words, their tonality, the tone of their voice, and their body language when they're talking to you is really important because that helps us to gauge those emotional reactions and responses, to really detect whether something is missing or not in what they're saying. And of course, active questioning really helps with this as well. In the Mindset Coach certification, we look out for our meta model. Now, a meta model is about uncovering that hidden information in what our clients say or don't say, and it uncovers the generalizations, deletions, and distortions that our clients may use and we may use in everyday life when we're speaking. And because we're always conveying our reality through our words, it's really important that we tune into what our clients are saying, what are the words that they're choosing to use to describe their experience. Now, for example, if I were to say to you, luckily Mary's coming for dinner, and unfortunately Mary's coming to dinner, you can see that even just one word changes the meaning of the sentence. If I say to you, John stood beside the house, in all likelihood, you will have an image, a representation of John standing beside the house. Now, this representation will differ depending if you know someone or John or not. If you know someone who's called John, then you're most likely to imagine that person in front of a house. And the representation of a house will be whatever you view a house to be. Now, it could be a stick figure drawing of a house, or it could be an actual house. Maybe it's the house that John lives in, if you know him, or maybe it's another type of house entirely. Now, this changes, of course, when I elicit more information or give you more information about John who's standing beside the house, because our interpretation, our emotions change when I say to you, John is a burglar about to rob the house. Notice how that shifts your perspective and your understanding of who John is and maybe some of the characteristics that John has. What about if John is a golden retriever standing beside the doghouse? Again, your representation of what I'm saying changes based on you getting more information from me. Unfortunately, what often happens is that as coaches, maybe we can tend to take things at face value from our clients, thinking that we understand what it is that they're sharing with us. But actually, when we take the time to dig a little deeper, ask really effective questions and active listen, then we can actually uncover the real reality and the real meaning of our clients' words. And this is important, of course, when we're doing things like values elicitation work as well, when we're helping our clients to set and establish goals. create action plans right throughout our coaching. Active listening is important, and also being able to reflect back what you hear to show that you understand and value their perspective. But also that's about clarifying and just getting confirmation that what you have repeated back to them or reflected back to them is in fact what they intended the meaning to be of their words. And so active listening, a very important part of holding space. The next one is to bring with you always a non-judgmental attitude. Now, this is a key component, of course, of coaching, where we want to release any unconscious biases that we may have, because when we create a non-judgmental space, clients then feel free to share openly. And this is why it's really important that we don't interject our own experience into the coaching conversation. That is leaning much more towards mentoring or consulting. And it's also important that we avoid giving advice or expressing opinions unless specifically asked by the client, because that then allows clients to explore their thoughts and feelings without fear of criticism. Sometimes clients don't want to be vulnerable, or maybe they start being vulnerable, but the minute we start to give our opinion or offer advice, they can shut down, because that shows that in some way we have made a judgment. We have to make a judgment about what they've said in order then to give that opinion or provide that advice. And sometimes coaches can have a tendency, because we really want to help our clients, of jumping in with advice earlier than is useful or helpful to our clients. So just be aware of that. And if your client does say something that you think, oh my gosh, I hadn't expected that, then that's again where you are managing your own coach's mindset, your own body language, and your own responses. The next thing that is important for us when we're holding space is to demonstrate empathy and compassion. Now, by validating our clients' experiences and feelings, even if we don't agree with them, right, or we wouldn't potentially do that in that same situation, we really want to let our clients know that their feelings are legitimate. We're here to support them. And that's really important. And it's not us giving them permission to feel those feelings. It's not us saying that's okay. It is us helping our clients to recognize that whatever they feel in a situation, however they react, is them. It's an expression of who they are, and that we can actually be very compassionate and empathic with our clients through their experiences, and that will lead them to open up with us in a much deeper way than perhaps if we weren't compassionate, or we said, come on, let's just get on with it. Let's put that in the past now. That's all in the past. Really important that we have those conversations with our clients, because we're interested in helping them to move forwards towards the goals, towards the life, the outcomes in life or business that they want to achieve. And certainly, as a certain certified mindset coach, you may be bringing some of those therapeutic techniques in, like timeline therapy or hypnotherapy. And in those situations, we identify that that's what we're doing, and we can really use those effectively to maybe clear up some of those patterns of the past. First of all, to recognize those repeated patterns, whether it's behavioral patterns or emotional patterns, and then help our clients to easily and effectively release those so that they are able to move forward. Hey there, coaches. I just wanted to take a moment to remind you about our Mindset Coach certification program. This is not just any certification. It's an ICF and multi-accredited program designed to provide you with the skills, knowledge, and confidence you need to transform lives. If you're serious about elevating your coaching practice and making a lasting impact, visit our website at mindsetcoachacademy.com to learn more. It's your opportunity to join a community of passionate and dedicated coaches. The next thing is patience. And I know you really want to help your clients, and oftentimes you maybe have an answer or a suggestion, but it's really important to be patient and allow clients to process their thoughts and emotions at their own pace. You may be itching, dying to interject or to give them something. But actually using silence is so powerful. In fact, silence is one of the most powerful techniques we have at our disposal as coaches, because in that pause, the power of the pause, our clients are able to reflect and to think, and we're giving them space to process internally, to do those transderivational searches for meaning, to ask themselves the questions that we're asking them, and to do that deep reflection, which then, of course, unlocks those incredible aha moments. Now, silence is so powerful for doing that, just giving them the time to reflect and gain insights. And sometimes what happens is if we interject too early, or if we've asked a question and our client doesn't respond quickly, sometimes we can have a tendency to repeat the question or rephrase the question. And what that does is it prevents our client from doing that self-reflection. So please do, I invite you this week in your coaching sessions to leave slightly longer pauses than perhaps you ordinarily have done in the past, and see what emerges in terms of those clients' insights. The next is confidentiality. And of course, this is an essential part of our ethical responsibility as clients. We want to make sure that our clients understand that in working with us, it's a confidential space. They need to know that, and they need to know that both explicitly by you telling them and sharing it in your contract or in your coaching manifesto or agreement with your clients, but also you need to show it by the way that you show up online in your marketing. And by that I mean sometimes we see coaches who will take screenshots of private conversations in the DMs with clients, and they'll use that as a form of testimonial. Now, if that coach has got the client's permission to share, then that's absolutely fine. They've agreed. But sometimes they don't, and that is actually a sign outwardly that maybe you're breaking a confidence. If you get a client's agreement to share something, it's always worthwhile posting on your post or in your email newsletter or whatever form of communication you use that you do have permission to post that testimonial or that client case study or the client insights. Because otherwise, think about it, if you're sharing a lot of deep detail about your clients online, and even if you anonymize it, sometimes that's not even relevant, because what happens is people may think to themselves, if this coach is sharing this information broadly on their socials, broadly in their emails about other people, what potentially are they going to share about me? So really make sure that you are adhering to both explicit and implicit confidentiality, because that really does build trust and it encourages our clients to be open with us, which is, of course, exactly what we want to be able to have an effective coaching relationship. The next one is to make sure that you are present and be fully present with your clients. Sometimes, we know we have busy lives, our phones will ring, things will happen, someone will knock on the door. It's really important that you take every step that you can to make sure that you're minimizing or eliminating any distractions so that you can focus entirely on your client during the sessions. They need to be your sole point of focus, because this actually demonstrates your commitment, your respect for them, and your respect for the coaching process. This isn't about sitting down in a cafe and talking to somebody. This is actually about showing your respect by providing that environment where you are showing up fully, stepping into your coach's role and being wholly present, using all of your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious coaching techniques with your clients, and making sure that you know that you are fully there and they know that too, because they can sense as well if you are distracted. I always recommend that you leave at least half an hour between coaching sessions and that you don't actually overload your coaching roster on any given day, because energetically coaching is a process that requires us to be fully present and to show up and to have a high level of energy. And so giving yourself the grace to prepare before a coaching session, to ground yourself, to relax, and then also to summarize and send out any actions after the coaching session gives you the space that you need to be fully present within the coaching session itself. The next one is encouragement. When we encourage our clients to explore their feelings and thoughts at a deep level, we are really demonstrating that we're holding space for them. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We want our clients to be able to do that and to think about things in a way that perhaps they haven't even explored before. We really want to make sure that we are focusing on, at the conscious level, asking those open-ended questions that really do invite our clients to think and reflect. And you can start to really practice these questions in your everyday life, with your everyday conversations with your friends, family, and colleagues, as well as with your clients, and just notice the difference. And also pay attention to whether or not you're asking questions that presuppose that you know the answer as well. Because if you presuppose that you know the answer, then you're more likely to ask closed questions and not really open that dialogue. So you may just be asking closed questions that affirm or confirm or deny what you think the client has been saying, rather than actually give them the space to really think about it and explore. The next one is about the environment that you create. And I did a much earlier episode around creating an environment, and you can head on back to that one. But creating a physical and emotional space that feels safe and comfortable for the client. Now, this could involve arranging your coaching space to be welcoming and free from distractions if you're working with clients in person. And of course, the same applies if you're online as well. Make sure when you are coaching that your background is clean of clutter, and that it really reflects that you're in a professional environment, in a professional situation, and that you're there wholly and solely to focus on your client. Also, make sure that you feel comfortable in that space as well. Have you got a comfortable chair to sit in? Is everything that you need to effectively run a coaching session within easy reaching distance for you? Maybe you'll include a ritual that signifies to you and the client that the session has started, maybe by doing some deep breathing exercises. Maybe you'll light a candle. Maybe you'll pull a card. Whatever your coaching niche is, there may be something appropriate that will signify as an anchor that this is now the space that you're entering into, this confidential space that you're entering into with your client where you're fully present, and so that they and you know that coaching has begun. The next is around mindfulness, and mindfulness really helps with your presence, because when you practice mindfulness and encourage your clients to do the same, it really does help you to stay present and attentive, and also it can help your clients to connect more deeply with their own experiences. In the Mindset Coach Certification program, I share with you some reflection scripts, some visualization scripts, and some mindfulness tools that can really help you and your client to open up and lean into this powerful practice. And finally, one of the things that helps us to hold space with our coaching clients is our boundaries. Now, boundaries are so important because maintaining them and maintaining those professional boundaries really helps to ensure a healthy coach-client relationship. Your clients will feel safe when they know what the boundaries are, and it also helps them to create that respectful space so that you know what is and what isn't acceptable, what is and what isn't in line with boundaries in your coaching practice. Now, these boundaries can be a number of different things. They can be boundaries around time, for example, around coming to a coaching session on time. They could be things around boundaries around action taking. So when your client commits to doing an action, they actually follow through. Could be emotional boundaries, could be physical boundaries, and of course, ethical boundaries are really important. So these are all the key things that you need to do in order to hold space with your coaching clients. And in doing so, you really empower your clients to find their own solutions, to gain insights, and make meaningful progress in their personal and professional lives. So my question for you is, as you've tuned into this episode, which of those areas stood out to you as being areas that you really want to work on to grow and develop in your own coaching practice? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Bye for now. That wraps up today's episode of the Mindset Coach podcast. I hope you found it as inspiring and informative as I did. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow coaches. Your support helps us reach more people and continue to bring top-notch content every week. Remember, you can always learn more about our ICF and multi-accredited Mindset Coach certification program, our coaching membership and other training opportunities by visiting mindsetcoachacademy.com. Thank you for tuning in and keep striving to become the best coach you can be. Until next time, this is Lara Young signing off. Stay motivated and keep transforming lives.